Welcome to this module on fiduciary responsibilities related to the investment options offered under a plan. In this session, we'll be discussing both the fiduciary responsibilities that apply to investment decisions and the best practices that ensure those responsibilities are fulfilled. First, when acting on behalf of a plan, a fiduciary must act with the care, skill, prudence, and diligence of a prudent person who is familiar with these matters. This is commonly referred to as the prudent expert rule. What does this mean in practice? It means that fiduciaries are required to give appropriate consideration to all facts and circumstances they know or should know are relevant to the investment or course of action being considered. Further, fiduciaries must select investment options that comply with the 2020 regulatory changes under ERISA Section 404A. These changes ensure that fiduciaries are meeting the highest standards when offering investment choices to plan participants. Fiduciary responsibility with respect to investments. An investment part of the fiduciary's role is maintaining and following a written investment policy statement or IPS. While ERISA does not explicitly require the use of a written investment policy, doing so is recommended best practice. A strong written IPS serves to demonstrate compliance and guide decision-making by providing 1, clear standards for selecting and monitoring investments, 2, a watch list for triggering investment performance, 3, and a defined triggers for an investment needs to be replaced. Remember, if a written IPS is in place, it must be followed. By adhering to these responsibilities and best practices, fiduciaries help ensure they are making prudent decisions that safeguard the best interest of plan participants. Documenting reviews of investments, fees, and evidence of prudence. As a fiduciary, it's essential to follow the guidelines set forth in the IPS. Proper documentation is key to demonstrating that you followed a prudent process in your decision-making. And here are the steps you should take. 1, document investment reviews. Regularly review the investments offered under the plan, ensuring they continue to meet the objectives and standards outlined in your IPS. Keep detailed records of these reviews to demonstrate compliance and due diligence. 2, document all relevant plan fees. It's crucial to track and document all fees associated with a plan, investment fees, administrative fees, and any other cost. Make sure participants are getting value in return for the fees being paid. 3, evidence of prudent process. Beyond documenting reviews and fees, fiduciaries must show evidence that a prudent process is used for selecting, monitoring, and making decisions about investments. This documentation will be invaluable in demonstrating that fiduciaries have met their obligations under ERISA. Utilizing a third-party investment expert. In cases where internal expertise is not available, plan sponsors should consider seeking advice from an independent third-party expert. Look for an expert who accepts ERISA 321 or 338 investment fiduciary responsibility to ensure that you're meeting the ERISA prudent expert standard. However, it's important to note that while third-party experts can provide valuable guidance, fiduciaries should not rely exclusively on non-independent third parties such as fund companies, record keepers, or third-party administrators for investment advice. Always ensure that the advice you receive is independent and in the best interest of plan participants. By following these steps, fiduciaries can help ensure that their investment process is transparent, well documented, and most importantly, prudent. Investment replacement. As a fiduciary, it's crucial to follow the procedures outlined in the investment policy when replacing funds that no longer meet the established criteria. Here's what you need to remember. 1, follow the investment policy procedure for fund replacement. It's essential to adhere to the process in your investment policy when replacing an underperforming investment. This ensures a prudent process has been followed, which is key to demonstrating fiduciary diligence. 2, remove investments not meeting criteria. Investments that fail to meet the criteria outlined in the policy should be removed and replaced with similar prudent alternatives. This step is important to maintaining the overall health of the investment lineup and safeguarding participants' assets. 3, consequences of failing to replace funds. Failing to replace underperforming or inappropriate funds can be considered a fiduciary breach of duty. It may suggest a failure to act prudently, which could have serious consequences, including personal liability for resulting losses. Protect yourself and the plan participants by acting swiftly and prudently in such situations. Expense ratios and fees. Another key fiduciary responsibility is ensuring that the fees associated with the plan investments are fair and reasonable. One, fair and reasonable fees. As a fiduciary, your duty is to make sure that fees being paid by participants are fair and reasonable in relation to the services and investments options provided. Two, expense ratios must be competitive. One of the most primary cost participants occur is the expense ratio or management fees associated with the investments. These fees should be competitive within their peer group to ensure participants are not paying excessive cost. Regular benchmarking can help ensure you're meeting this standard. The 2020 final regulation changes to ERISA Section 404A in regards to investment duties. Let's now turn to the 2020 updates to ERISA Section 404A regarding investment duties, particularly in the context of ESG investing or environmental, social, and governance. One, the intent of the final rule. The aim of the 2020 final rule is to provide a clear regulatory framework for ERISA fiduciaries, helping them navigate investment trends, especially around ESG. The rule seeks to clarify the distinction between using risk return factors in a legitimate way and making inappropriate investment choices that sacrifice returns, increase cost, or assume more risk for non-financial reasons. Two, long-term certainty regarding ESG and other decisions. This regulation should be seen as an effort by the administration to create long-term certainty in how fiduciaries are governed regarding ESG and other investment-related decisions. The focus remains on ensuring that pecuniary factors related to risk and return, drive investment decisions as opposed to non-pecuniary benefits. By following these guidelines, you can help ensure that your actions as a fiduciary are both prudent and compliant with the latest regulatory changes. The key takeaway is that every decision, from replacing funds to monitoring funds, must be made in the best interest of the plan participants with a clear, well-documented process in place.